Oh, I'm invisible.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, there I am. Hi.
Oh,
Hello, everybody. It is August 25th, 2025, 7:09 p.m. EST. A little late. I'm sorry, everybody. And you're watching the Dovecote with guest Matt Caulder. Matt, would you
with
like to
me.
say hello?
Hi. I'm at Caulder, even though it says Sandro.
Oh my
'cause
God,
it's hard.
that's not true. This is a lie. Ignore this. Ignore this. Ignore
Shut it
it.
down. Shut it. The stream hasn't started.
I don't know.
No
Do you
one
want to
look.
be Matt C? Do you want to be Matt period? What do you want?
I'm fine. Just put Matt. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
We have a character limitation. That's fine.
We're going. We're going. Is that all? Is that all good? I completely fucked that up.
It's fine. Listen, we had a whole thing. We had a whole thing with the PNG tuber. So
Yeah, this is kind of a
I can't
sliding
be upset.
finish in a real way.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to have you. Tell people. Please tell people about yourself. Who the fuck are you?
Wow. No, it's fair. That's you know what? That's
Sorry.
a perfect response. Like, who the fuck? Why the fuck are you on my podcast?
Why are you in my
hi, everybody.
Dovecote?
Just like I'm just like, hello. What's going? Hello, hi.
Real
Here to
fucking
sell.
comedy bang bang
Here to
shit.
sell these $2 chocolate bars to raise money for my school. Yeah, no, hi everybody. I'm Matt Caulder. I'm a Twitch streamer and podcast host. The podcast being the main reason why I'm here. Eclipse was on my show not that long ago. It's called What You Doing. It's an interview show. As I refer to it, it's the interview show where I talk to cool people about the amazing things they're working on. I've had a lot of TTRPG designers as guests recently. Kind of an unintentional run, but you know what? I'm not gonna be too upset about it because I've had some incredible people, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, how do you think that happened? Like, how did that wind up being, as you said, kind of a run?
I think it's just because it's as I said to somebody. I don't remember when I said it. TTRPG designers are very available and they love to talk about their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a way that not a lot of other people are, but in a way that TTRPG designers very desperately are. They have a thing that they need you to give it money.
Sorry, that was not me laughing. That was Lilith.
Oh.
It's true though.
Yeah, but like in a and I don't I guess I don't have any like illusion to that the show is like a bit of marketing for the whatever crowdfunding thing, and that's fine. I understand and believe that part of it. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's
oh, sorry.
It's really easy to get people to talk about stuff when they're trying to get people to know about their thing and give them money for it. So
Real, yeah. Something that I observed about what you're doing from the episodes that I have listened to, and the one that I was on even, is
thank you for
that
listening.
yeah, it's good shit. One of the things I observed is that much like the impression that I think a lot of folks have gotten from my show, what you're doing is very like conversational. It's not that sort of professional, like, and not to say it's unprofessional, but it's not that sort of pressed, like kind of overly sanded down, like interview ass podcast. I don't know if you feel the same way about it.
No, yeah, I was I've started describing it as semi-casual, where I kind of want to have I describe it as an interview podcast, and I kind of view it as an interview format. And I tend to come with questions like written down, but that's mostly so that I can like remember thoughts that I had while I was reading their stuff for my own sake. But if we end up having I told my guests today, because I literally just recorded a new episode. I was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, if you feel like meandering, if you feel like you're rambling, if you have that moment where you're like, oh god, I've been talking too long, like, don't worry about it, just go with it. Like, if you feel it's relevant to the conversation that we're having, just stick with it, have a good time.
And you do have to keep talking on your show, because the part we didn't talk about is that there's a gun to each guest's head, and if they stop talking at any point, they do die, and it's pretty sad.
Yeah, well, yeah, I try not to talk about that part because I think that gives people a little bit of a uncertainty about being on the show. Especially to get them to answer the door before the podcast. That's really tricky, but it's working out so far.
Yeah, a lot of people miss the subtitle of "What You Doing" within the hour or so before you die, and it's talking to Matt Caulder.
What you doing with Agent 47's gun to your head? And it's a podcast with me, Matt Caulder.
Yeah. Yeah. No. In all seriousness, I very much agree. I would always rather have a guest who's gonna like fucking go off on some shit than somebody who's gonna give me nothing.
Yeah.
Uh.
Yeah, because like if we're talking about like if I'm like, oh, how did you decide on this resolution mechanic or something like this, and you're like, okay, to explain the way that I thought about this, I have to tell you this 15-minute story from when I was 12. I'm like,
Babe,
buckle in, let's go.
You gotta stop watching that video. She's laughing so much.
Little that person is missing. It's not funny.
God, man, I don't think we can talk about that now. I mean, we can. It's
no,
fine.
that's a joke. Yeah, no, we will. Listen. If we don't talk about it, that's a joke for us, and sometimes you have those.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're fine. I just like you said, like I would rather somebody have like a 15-minute rambly story about some time they had at a water park, and that's when they decided they wanted to tell this sort of story, than some weird sort of sanitized press acceptable answer.
Mm-hmm. So, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like I agree, and something that I forget exactly what his wording was, but I had a journalism professor who was talking about like, yeah, it is like so difficult being interviewed as a journalist because you not even in the capacity of of being a journalist, but just like being a journalist and then being in an interview, because you like naturally are either gonna like fill in a bunch because you never get to talk. No one ever puts any importance to your words except when you write them down, and so you kind of lose your filter, or you're gonna shut up because you know that the other guy has to write down everything that you say, and you're one gonna be protective of yourself, and two gonna be protective of like that guy's writing hand, because you don't want him talking carpal tunnel. I don't think my professor said exactly this, but this is kind of my assessment of that vibe. And I don't know what my point was with this.
Being protected. Well, I think what you were saying is the problem with interviewing journalists is that they're consciously and subconsciously trained to give short, snappy answers with big pauses. Whereas with an audio interview, you're kind of just like, yeah, we can talk for 15 minutes and it's not that big a deal, and I don't have to worry about protecting your writing hands, which is a very funny sentence.
So, I'm curious, because you've had some really fucking exceptional people on the show.
I've had some incredible people on the show. I say it all the time. I'm stunned.
Some friends of the show, even. Seda. I keep thinking that Snow is a friend of the show, but Snow actually has not been on the show yet. Nor is Charlotte, though I think Charlotte is probably going to be on at some point. So, yeah. Fucking Rowan.
I want to have, see, now this is funny. I want to have Snow and Charlotte on again before they're on here once.
That would be really funny.
Now it's a race. Yeah, well, because they have a new game coming out in, I think it's March.
Oh.
And I super want to have them on for it because it looks hella good.
I think the idea now, and no one take my word for this because these things change so quickly, but I think I'm eyeing... Do I have a date in for them? What? Or not them, but specifically Charlotte. What am I doing?
I don't know.
Oops. All right, that's fine.
That's a good question.
I gotta figure some stuff out. Oh wait, no, hang on.
I have those moments. I have those moments all the time where I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah. Oh no, Charlotte's gonna be on in October.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. Do you have anyone who's like and I know this can be weird to talk about on air because it's like, uh, it's a little gauche, but like I do like talking about it 'cause I think it's funny. Do you have
Yeah.
anyone who's on your like fucking I would love to have this person on the show list who you feel like is never gonna be on the show?
Oh, see, that's a really fun question. I haven't sat down and written out a list of people that I want to have since I started. Because when I started, I wrote down people that I would like to have, and like on that list were Snow and Spencer Campbell, who was recently on,
Hmm.
and like Rowan was something I didn't think in a million years would be on the show. Um, and not like they would blow it off, but more just like it just wouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, who do I think? Like this is the thing. Like I said for a really long time, I'm like people keep saying yes to being on the show, and I don't know what to do about it, and someone needs to tell me no, so that I can like feel normal about it.
Uh-huh.
Like I need someone to say no, so that someone will have said no, and then it's like okay, I can get over the rejection, and I can internalize that, and I can move forward. But people keep saying yes, and I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's hard because I feel like on the one hand I think there was a point where I was like in that similar spot where I was like, God, I wish someone would just say no. And then someone did. and and I was like, oh, I don't know if I really wanted that. It's
Yeah, no,
hard.
I don't want it to happen, but I want it to happen so that I can get past it.
Just get over it, yeah.
Yeah, I need it to happen so that it can have happened.
Yeah, I think rejection in doing this kind of work is interesting because it's like you can get a what's the word? You can get a recency bias about it where it's like
Mm,
if the last person you asked to do the thing rejected you or ghosted you, it like makes you feel like no one ever forever for real ever wants to be on your show. And it's like
right.
no. Or like you feel like everybody who was on your show just is like a pittance. And
Well,
or like, out of
that's
pity.
still true. That's still actively true. So don't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Sure.
everyone.
Uh
Yeah, everyone cool was on my show specifically because they think I'm a sad little pitiable rat, and they just decided to toss me a little bone.
Listen, whatever fucking whatever fucking you know, whatever
Whatever you
you're
need.
into.
Whatever you need to get. You know?
Whatever you need. Yeah. Uh, yeah.
I tried. I was going to say something, and then I stopped myself. I was like, "That's going to be too weird. I don't want to get too weird about it. It needs to be regular weird."
You can be weird on this show. This is a weird show.
No, that's fine. I didn't want to be weird. That
That's
was
fair.
myself. I'm like, don't like. You got to be regular weird about it.
I understand. Gather them bones up. Sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, and that's a fun. That's a fun thing to think about, right? If it's like, even if I think that everybody was on the show because they felt bad for me,
Mhm.
because they were like, oh, this guy's such a loser. I'll be on a show, I guess. Hey, you know what? I still got a bunch of cool people to be on the show,
Mhm.
and maybe that's something to like feel good about. Even if I think that first thing is true, hey, that's pretty cool still.
Yeah, I feel like at some point, like, it's such a generic, kind of, it's such a classic, like, thing that I think people kind of see it as, like, a nothing statement, but you do really need to fake it till you make it. Like, it is all bullshit.
You really do. I've multiple people I've had on the show that I talked about, like, oh, how did you get started doing this and this. I remember specifically talking to Darren Krepke about his work with publishing and writing and stuff, and he talked about how he got started writing specifically because he saw a tabletop book that he liked, or a coffee table book that he liked.
Mhm.
And he was like, oh, I want to do something like that for PlayStation games, because I like PlayStation games. It would be fun to do this. And he did it just based on this thing that he liked. And then when he sent it to the printer, they were like, buddy, this is all fucked. Like, you don't have margins. You don't have like your bleed set up properly. You don't have
Mhm.
all of this and this and this. And he was like, I think if I had known about all of the things that I had to set up before I started doing it, I wouldn't have started, because I would have been stuck learning all of these things. But by the time I had to learn all of those things, I already had the book written. and it was just the last thing I had to do to get it there.
Sorry,
Like, okay,
too
sure, I
late.
guess I'll deal with this nonsense.
Yeah. By the time that you have to like, put in the work of actually being you know, a fucking a layout designer, you've already done a good amount of layout design.
Right.
Yeah.
It's already there. You just got to figure out, okay, these are the new lines I have to draw, and this is all the new stuff I have to do.
Mhm.
And then you've learned it, and then the next book is all the easier.
Yeah, agreed. Games are pretty cool.
Games are rad.
What have you been playing anything recently?
No, I'm terrible in that I'm busy.
Fair.
I have some stuff planned coming up soon.
Hmm.
I'm not going to worry about self-promoting because this is an interview and I feel like it's appropriate. I have a Twitch stream if you don't know.
Yup.
EST mornings, Monday to Friday. In October, we do a thing called Scaretober, where I play scary games after raising money for September. And I'm thinking about doing some tabletop stuff for Scaretober this year. I think I'm gonna do Whisper in the Walls from Pandian Games, and then I think I'm gonna do Thousand Year Vampire from
Fuck yeah.
Hutchinson. So, because hey, tabletop games are cool, and people do them on Twitch, but not in a non-actual play, 5 people playing a game style.
Oh, elaborate on that.
Well, I think there's a very big difference between an actual play that's happening at you and a game that is happening in a way that you can, like solo games specifically, but in a way that like you can have a conversation and maybe like inform or influence it. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's I think it's just a different scale.
No, I agree. That's an interesting thought. I think one of the interesting things about actual play as a term is that like actual play was a form term initially. That was like these are the threads that are actual play versus the threads that are just kind of like discussion or stories of playing the game. These are threads that are like we are actually playing the game in this thread. Or no, sorry, it's not. What's the what's I think it's the hang on.
We gotta search.
Because I remember this vaguely.
Can't look foolish on the internet, so we gotta look it up. Imagine being wrong on the internet.
I might be wrong on the internet.
Oh no, darling, Clips, I gotta go.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Okay, I'm gonna read this. This is from the Wikipedia page on actual play. We're gonna
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. I'm thinking a lot about. I've been watching Austin Walker's playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic 2, and I've been thinking a lot about fucking Sklushka Bushkala.
Oh
Fucking
my God.
like Star Wars
I'm
languages are so funny.
I'm so behind on that playthrough, but I've been loving the shit out of it.
Yeah, so like I'm playing through Caulder 1 on my stream, and like I was a little anxious about like watching through Austin's playthrough because I was like, oh, I'm gonna remember this stuff too well when I go and play it on my stream. I played Caulder 1 and Caulder 2 so many fucking times since my childhood, to be clear. But I started watching and it was like, oh, actually, this is something that I've really wanted for a while, which is like Austin Walker, specifically Austin playing Knights of the Old Republic 2, and I like not even just 1, like specifically 2. It's like if Austin Walker did a Let's Play of Dragon's Dogma, 1 and 2.
Oh my God.
I would feel similarly normal about that.
I would pay actual money.
Yeah. Anyways, actual play.
Technically, Austin did a Let's Play of Dragon's Dogma 1.
Oh right, yeah, he played a little bit, didn't he?
He Let's Played a game of Dragon's Dogma on Friends of the Table Co.'s Janine's YouTube channel for
Oh,
her annual October gaming thing.
fascinating. Anyways,
Yeah, you gotta get to the deep cuts sometimes, but
sounds like it.
actual play.
According to Evan Torner of Writing in Watch's Roll, actual plays written in Phenomena, including magazine and play reports of war games and internet forums dedicated to role-playing games. Oh yeah, that sounds about right. Player reports? Hang on.
Yeah,
Oh here, wait, Ian World. This is gonna have some actual. Uh, we're sifting. We're sifting big style. Uh, okay, we're in the weeds.
yeah. This is that fun. This is that fun sort of internet search where it's just like, oh, this isn't the information that I wanted. I thought this was gonna be way sooner.
Yeah, okay, there's a Polygon one from M. Oh, M Freeman would know things.
M would know.
Although this is probably
M called one of my posts on Blue Sky horseshit, and I've never been so
That's
happy to be
so sad,
to be called.
I'm sorry.
I've never. I was like, no. I was like, you know what? If anyone has the bona fides to say it's horseshit, yes, yeah, yep.
Okay, point
I'm
being,
not even mad. I'm not even mad.
actual play in part comes from magazine and forum play reports. So, but not.
Yeah.
But when you say AP, you mean like a show that is like a honed
Correct.
thing.
Yeah. I mean a live TTRPG playing of a game.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because yeah, there is always some poison for the audience, even if it's, you know, yeah. Although I guess what you're describing is actually also poised towards the audience, because you're saying, I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but you can correct me. You're saying that you would be playing a solo game and kind of having a conversation with your audience to inform it. Is that am I wrong?
Informative would be part of it. I think so. It would be more of it would almost be. I mean, this is probably how I would take it. It would probably have to be instructional.
Okay.
Where it would be like I'm playing and then sort of talking about like, oh, okay, so here's how this works. Here's how you play this sort of game. Here's what I'm thinking of as I'm, as I'm reading this prompt. Here are the things that I'm thinking. Here are the story beats that I'm keeping in mind. That sort of thing.
Yeah, that is interesting. I think that'll be really fun. I'm excited to see what you do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing I've wanted to do a couple times. I played a couple missions of Imperial Assault on stream,
Okay.
and that is a very big board game to play on stream when you're just one person and one table. Like that's a lot. And I've seen people with more complicated board game setups, like for streaming, do that, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised I did as well as I did.
Hell yeah.
So.
There's some joy in streaming like a freaking thing.
Yeah, I think streaming's such an interesting space that like I know people do like board game streams. I don't know if that's like incredibly popular. But I haven't seen very much of it. So I'm especially with like I feel like a lot of times when people stream that sort of content, they're just doing their own thing. And then like the chat is incidental. And I've always been very like in tune with my chat when I'm doing something because that's why I'm streaming it. If I wanted to not interact with people in the chat, I would just pre-record it and then here you go.
Yeah. Seda asks, I feel like I missed something. What differentiates that from actual play?
I'm not sure what we're talking about, but
the stuff that you were thinking of doing for the Halloween streams.
I think this is getting into, and of course Seda asked that question. I think this is getting into the way that actual play is a term that actually means like 8 different things. And Um, I think we need something different than actual play to describe subcategories of actual play. Because like if it's all actual play, and that's fine. Like I'm not debating that definition, but if it's all actual play and we just say, oh, it's actual play, it can be really hard to define individual things.
Mhm.
Like it's like video games, right? Oh, it's all video games. Do you want to Eclipse, do you want to come over to my house and play video games?
Yeah, what are we playing?
We're playing video games.
That's scary. I don't want to do it anymore.
Right. And so I think we're at the point where imagine me just unblinking smiling. We're going to play video games.
We're gonna play video games.
I think we need to have terms that sort of more properly explain what we're doing. So like what I would say that I was doing for the Halloween things would be things more like instructional actual play, or maybe like I don't want to say beginner actual play because I think beginner is a weird term in some cases. Example of actual play. No, example is not the word I want, but like something that more properly describes that this is something that's interactive and is intended to describe the process more than just, you know, we're 7 white actors playing D&D at you.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I see what you mean. Hopefully Friedman can draft up some words to split all that up.
You know, you asked who I think is the person who wouldn't do the podcast. I don't think M would do the podcast. And again, I don't mean that in a mean way. I feel like M would be the person that's just like, why would I do that? Like, why? What do you want? What
you never
what is
know.
The purpose of that?
Like, here's the thing. Okay, like
here's the thing. You never know. Right?
No one
That's the thing. You never know.
No one remembers anything. No one remembers anyone that they were ever like upset with, or I mean, this is not entirely true, but like I think on the internet is pretty true. Like our engagement with online is kind of fundamentally like it is surface level, and so when we see a take we don't like, we don't necessarily attach a name to it. We just kind of we just kind of say things, you know.
And that's the thing where like I don't even mean that in a mean way, that I don't think she'd do it. I think she would question the benefit for either party in a way that like I feel like she's very intentional and serious in the way that she is, because she like as maybe I'm projecting slightly because she's a person in like incredibly high academia.
It's possible.
In a very like specialized subject. I feel like those people are always not serious in like to a fault, but I feel like she would just be like, I don't know if this would be a benefit to either of our times for me to do this.
Perhaps. I feel like as someone who had those sorts of aspersions about a lot of the people who I opted to then like reach out to and start developing relationships with, especially in TTRPGs, I think that those sorts of like I don't know, those assumptions are not always like as true as they seem. So you know, who knows? Anything can happen.
You're probably right.
Interesting.
I'm terrified in 6 months to have them on the show.
Bless. Seda is saying, I'm not on the show, so I'll refrain from further questions at the moment. This is just hitting a lot of my feelings about the current perception of actual play. Yeah, it's interesting, because I do kind of see... I don't know if I know exactly where you're coming at this from, Seda, but I am like... I do think that there's a degree to which, like, actual play has been... actual play, which used to be kind of a slighter thing, has been kind of dominated by the kind of Penny Arcade, Acquisitions Incorporated, and Beyond type stuff. And I include things like Critical Role and Dimension 20 in that. Like, I think those are all
Mhm.
extensions of sort of the same beast. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it's interesting. I think like those are going to be the things that kind of dominate the kind of cultural history of actual plays. Like a thing that's I think is crazy is I'm pretty sure I was the first person to do an actual play with PNG tubers, and now it's like a pretty common practice. Um,
That's really funny.
I was doing it when it was like you had to put a fucking code in, like you had to like there weren't like even StreamKit wasn't a thing back then. You had to like get a code from a YouTube video and then like put like specific links and like people's Discord IDs in the code. Um,
Oh God.
yeah, if anyone wants to watch that, it's called "It's Up to You." Really, I don't know if it's any good, but it is. Actually, no, I'm gonna stand by my old work. It was a great AP, and I had a really good time with it. It's so fun playing games with your friends. Um,
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because coming from a video game space, I'm getting really annoyed with the idea that stuff that's old is bad, just kind of offhanded. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, it's old, it has to be bad.
yeah,
And it's like, no, it was probably good then, and like it might be less good now, but that's not bad because it's old.
yeah, and I think that there's a degree to which like everything gets. Well, I mean, like victory is told by the victors on some level, right? But also like, or by the conquerors more often. Um, but there's a degree to which like um at the same time, we lose so much of the dimension of like
Mm.
movements and spaces and times. Like you know, we are so obsessed with talking about. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like we're so obsessed with Pokemon that like in 100 years people will not say the names of Digimon and Yokai Watch, right? And I don't know if that's true, but
Mm.
like that is a you know it's the vibe. It's kind of the everything gets
Yeah.
kind of sanded down. The things that are
Yeah.
different, things that are different and small get eaten by the small fish get eaten by the big fish. And I don't know if that's necessarily a
Mm.
good way of like fully looking at history, but it is a I think it's a perspective I come at as an artist and occasionally a like critic of art in some ways where I'm like
Mm.
I want I want people to slow down and like look at weird little things that people made on
Mm-hmm.
in kind of the sides of broader artistic movements and moments and spaces and
Mm-hmm.
industries.
Yeah. It's a thing. I mean, this is I'm thinking about this mainly for video games because this is where my head has been at lately. But it's the same for everything. Like I think indie TTRPGs are having the moment, this moment right now where it's like, oh, everybody's excited about, everybody's excited about Jaggerheart, everybody's excited
Mhm.
about Draw Steel, everybody's excited about this, and everybody's excited about that. And meanwhile, while like these 300-page, like large productions keep coming out and keep coming out, thousands of tiny TTRPGs litter the margins, just like an embarrassment of riches of small, quirky, weird, maybe even bad but innovative, interesting concepts and ideas flutter past in the way of like just always chasing that next big thing to be excited about.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting, but you know, it's nice to make something. It's nice to
Mm-hmm.
keep pushing. Uh, you want to talk about the news?
Sure.
You want to talk about D&D? You want to talk about D&D? Oops.
No.
We'll talk. Let's
Fuck.
talk about the Crit Awards first, and then we'll. I guess we'll talk about our two other news stories. So I do want to talk about this aftermath story.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We should. Yeah. We should. We can talk about these in any order you want. I'm being a goof.
All right. I think we'll do crit and uh critical role first, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll do
Okay.
the last one.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to quickly go through the.
Oh God, I gotta see this picture again. Ugh, this should have a content warning.
Well, no, we're gonna do the crit awards winners first, I think.
Oh, okay. You said Critical Role, and I think you.
Sorry, Crit
doubled back.
Awards,
It's fine, it's
Critical Role, then the guy, then the designer.
fine.
Um,
Guy.
yeah, some winners. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna point out the people who I know. Triangle Agency, yay!
When I was looking through on the Instagram, and I was like, I think like 3 things that I voted for won, and that's not surprising because some of the things I didn't vote for because I wasn't familiar with, but
For real.
and listen, I can be honest in this space. Some things I voted for because I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't, and not that I didn't care about the work that people put into it. I did not have an opinion on any of the options that were presented, and thus I did not vote. And I think being honest about this, like, I don't want to hear. Let me get Eclipse. Can I get my rant about this out of the way?
Please. I also have a rant about the Crit Awards.
Okay.
But do yours first.
So let me find it so that I can talk about it. Oh my God, where is it? Of course I can't find it. You know what? I can control F. So there's a whole section called best utilization of accessibility features and safety tools in an actual play. And I need the term accessibility features to be removed from
Say it all. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue, please.
I need accessibility features to be removed from that because nothing that was mentioned. First, I think it's weird to have an award for safety tools. In that, I think all of the things that are listed here should be standard.
Yeah.
Like this feels like giving them a award for releasing in an M4V format in addition to an MP3 format. It feels like a thing that some of the and I don't mean this to discredit or talk down any of the work or effort that it takes to do these things, because these are all additional work on top of the entire production, and it is a large ask to do. Like it is not meant to minimize the amount of work that it takes to do session zeros, pre-show check-ins, post-show check-ins, visual descriptions, content warnings, all of this work. I lied when I said that none of the things listed in this are accessibility features. That's a lie, because as I'm reading the description, Euphoria AP, it says that they used captions.
Yeah.
That's an accessibility feature. Roll D5 says captions. I think it's very funny. The person that won does not have captions.
Has barely anything, really.
Right. Has barely anything in the description compared to everything. But it felt so weird to, 1, give an award to safety tools, but 2, the much larger issue that I have is the use of the term accessibility features, because captions is difficult, but none of these things are actually accessibility features.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, what does accessibility look like in the actual play space? I don't know. If I'm honest, I'm not an accessibility expert. I don't know what sort of accessibility you would need in an actual play space other than captions and transcriptions. There are people that you can hire and talk to about that, and I would love to hear their take and their conversations on that.
Fair.
I should have someone on the show. You
should have someone with cool opinions about that. I don't know if it's me. It's probably someone else. Smiles.
I can get. I'll ask Steve Saylor.
Hell yeah. Cool things here that I want to point out. Seda obviously winning for best.
I love that both of our shows have just become Seda is cool the show. I love and appreciate
so
that.
Cool. But I also wanted to point out Fat Games did not win. They did say it. They said it, which was really cool.
That's half the victory.
The article that I was hoping would win, and I feel confident saying that now, because those who've watched the show for a long time, especially during the Big Bad Boycott era, will know that I hugely respect all the work that Humna does, and I really, really like this article. I think I was less hot on it when I first read it, and then immediately after the like really good people make games essay on war games came out, and I was like, oh okay, I actually understand what Humna was talking about there. Never mind. Sorry, I take back literally everything that I said.
That war game video was really good.
It was great, but this article is also
I got
great.
to read. I have to read this Rascal article. I'm so behind on Rascal as a whole.
It's good shit. You should read it.
I'm just gonna open all of these. Is what I'm gonna do.
Alternatives for Generative AI Art by Knowledge AW is also really good. This is a very good comprehensive Google document. I do think it has some iffy accessibility color-wise, but you can probably just copy and paste it into black and white. And, yeah. Don't take out your contrast analyzer, Eclipse. This is a good document. I just have to. I'm sorry, everyone. I have autism. I need to check.
Love a good big document.
All right, I should let this person know privately that this does not pass some fucking contrast standards, but that's okay. Most of it does. Most of it's pretty legible, so don't worry about it. I'm just abnormal. I've developed a keen eye.
I'm completely normal about the contrast of colors in works on the internet.
Yeah, I've developed a keen eye for what is not going to pass contrast fucking stuff, and it makes me insane. I would not wish this on my worst enemy.
That is the worst when you have the autism curse of like I notice the thing no one else notices, and you have to be the asshole every time. That's like, hey, I don't know if you know this, and it's like, no. Why can't I be normal?
I also have like eye fatigue, so I do sometimes just straight up notice it on people's work, and I try to tell them in a nice way. But Just the Human also won. Just the Human, who does just a lot of really great tabletop charity bundles.
Yeah.
And streams. So good shit. I wanna. I feel like this is the show where I'll bitch about this. I'm sorry, everyone.
No, let's do it. Let's get bitchy.
And actually, I need to do something because I realized something really quickly. I need to turn off this plugin. There we go. Now I'm more bright. Okay. Listen, I respect what the Crit Awards does. Kind of. Like I think that I don't love. This isn't even about the stuff that I think you'd expect me to talk about here. I don't love that this is a like voted show, and I don't even like that's not even something that I want to talk about here, because I think that if I were, it would kind of come off as like sore loser-ish. And I do earnestly think that Humna's article was like worthy of a win. As a person who has run a TTRPG awards show, not even run, as a person who's done the tech for a TTRPG awards show, I was high during that show. I was high during the Crit Awards. And I didn't start high.
I didn't start high.
Let me read my messages in a chat. I won't tell you who else is in this chat. I say this was after I did not win. I'm high on Mary Ol Juana. I did not win a Crit Award tonight, but there's love in my heart. I said, me and Lilith were laughing so hard throughout the entire thing. I am basically high in effort to tranquilize me. As the Crit Awards was activating me. Simultaneously, this has no sauce was said often, and cut the bits, you have so much to get to was said just as often.
I have a very important question. As someone who didn't watch it, was it live or was it live to tape?
It was
like, was it pre-recorded?
It was live.
No, that's bad. That's mistake one from my experience.
I think it's okay for these sorts of things to be live, but I think you need to have Listen, I don't know what the watching experience was like on the awards. Was it live to tape? Because there were like errors and shit. Like there was weird stuff that made me think it was live. Um, I don't know though. Maybe I'm wrong. Uh, but yeah, it either way, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
editor hopped into the chat to apologize for audio quality hopping. Okay, gotcha. All right, it was edit.
That's
Okay, it
fair.
was edited. Thank you for clarifying that, Sid. I appreciate it. Um, Point being, I mean, the fact that I didn't know that is like already like unfortunate. But there is a. I gotta be so nice. But I mean, do I? I don't know.
I
It,
mean, I wasn't involved in the Crit Awards, and I think there's a very it's a very difficult line to walk to have something that highlights the the high points of a community and not have something that simultaneously kind of becomes like someone I know that I trust very strongly, and I like I trust their opinion on things, said that the Crit Awards is just a popularity contest, and I think that's just most award shows. I think that's just an award show is a popularity contest, and it takes a lot of rigor and specificity to have an award show that doesn't boil down to a popularity contest.
mhm.
Uh, um, and I think I don't know how you get one that isn't in a space that's so terminally online as the TTRPG community, especially as it interacts with the actual play community. Um, and I don't know. I don't know how you quote unquote fix it. I think maybe you don't have an awards show. I think you just have, hey, we want to highlight cool shit. People have submitted uh, stuff. Our judges have decided these are the three coolest things in no particular order.
Yeah. Okay. I have my thoughts together now. Thank you for
Okay.
giving me a
Yeah.
second to uh Seda said, I think there's a lot of the show that could have worked in a live room where people are applauding and reacting that did not necessarily work in this format. Yes, okay. Things I did not like about the presentation. One, the music. It was like this like trumpet thing that was like droning and synthy and like tinny, and it didn't do it for me. It was over the entire thing. Number two, the guy who kept promoting his own work multiple times throughout the show and was promoting the Kickstarter for the sequel to The Dragon Prince, um,
That's
which
hilarious.
is so funny. And like my only memory of
That's
The Dragon Prince is I stopped
hilarious
watching it.
in a No, I'm sorry. That's hilarious in a way that could be really funny in a live setting, but probably doesn't play without really tight like editing and management.
Yeah. My one memory of The Dragon Prince was that there was a joke about a girl farting so bad that her brother thought it was a horse that was farting, and then I stopped watching it. So that's, it just reminded me of that. And, what was the other thing I didn't like? Just, again, you have both, this is sauceless, and you have so much to get through. Why are you doing bits right now? Was kind of the vibe that I got. It was a bit of a slog, unfortunately. But, it is what it is.
Yeah. I've heard from people that I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't want to shit too strongly on what is essentially like a volunteer thing. Like
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think anybody got paid in all of this. But at the same time, a lot of the things that people do on the internet, they're not paid for, and that doesn't mean that as long as you're not being a shit when you're critiquing these things, I think it's fair to be like, hey, like this thing didn't work for me. This thing was a little flat. I don't think just because this was made by people for no money, it's like, oh well, you can't critique it at all.
Yeah, and I again, I don't want to be too mean. I'm sure that they're putting a lot of work into this. That's, you know, I just, I have, again, I, I, I have the problem where I can't fucking turn my shit off. Lilith and I were talking about this earlier. We're like a couple episodes into Cowboy Bebop, but I'm already like, wow, it's so interesting how much the show emphasizes like human characters, and Lilith is like, no one else I've watched this with has thought about that so early on, and it's or sorry, not human characters, like everyday people, right? And yeah, I'm sure that as I get older, I'm gonna grow more scrutiny, but I don't have it now, and so I kind of just blabber about things I don't like, and sometimes it's not very helpful.
I feel that. Sometimes it's bad, and you just have to get it out.
Yeah.
I get
but
you.
No, I think for the most part it was a pretty good show. And I'm thinking it gave me a lot of thoughts about like both in things that I liked about it and things that I didn't like about it, like thoughts of what I want to do when I eventually try and put together some sort of like end of the year Dovecote super fucking nepotistic award show where I just kind of let people who have been on the show already talk about things that they like.
Hell yeah. See, and that's great. That's a great idea. I think that vibe fits the community more than an award show. If just like what I would do, I mean, this is I'm gonna self promo again. This is a thing I do as part of the show is at the end of the show, I have the guests talk about stuff that they think is cool, that other stuff that they want to talk about. And I think like if you had an award show like that, it would be like, okay, everybody's decided that Triangle Agency is the coolest game of the year. Triangle Agency people, what game did you like this year?
Yeah.
What games did you think were cool? Tell us about the games you thought were cool. Everyone thinks your game is cool. What's your cool? What did you like? And just I don't know. I feel like award shows can just feel super weird, and it's like maybe we just talk about the shit that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get I get why we have generals for award shows, but I don't think I'm ever gonna make something like that or like be involved in something like that. I appreciate that you're actually proactively being like, wow, can we learn from this to make the version of that I want? Because as much as I think criticism is totally fine and valid, I'm pretty bored of I don't like this thing, but I refuse to make my own thing. Yeah, that's kind of the important thing, I think, is I don't really the reason why I kind of shit where I eat is because I want to talk about I want to actually like create conversations about and around like my process when I'm making things that are like my better version, not better version, but like my own version of a thing, right?
You want to talk out and examine your feelings around why this felt bad so that you can understand how to do it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It is good to have a solution. It's fun.
We'll have a combo. We'll have a combo end of the year. What you Dovecote award show.
That'd be awesome. What should Dovecote? That's so cool. Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, Cordis the bird is coming in from. Cordis had to take the bus.
What? Whoa! Oh God.
Cordis the news bird is here. I forgot. Cordis is late. The bus was really slow. It was a lot of traffic. Hey, do you want to talk about Critical Role really quick?
Oh God. I mean, we have to. It's part of the show.
We have to. This is like I have used all of my fucking like I've used all my vitriol on the Critical Awards. Why did I do that? They're just like nice people trying to make a nice show.
Yeah, we really should have. We should have started with Critical Role so that by the time we got to the Crit Awards, we were like, they're fine. They're they're not, I honestly, I probably sound. This is my like autism thing. I probably sounded like way more upset about the Crit Awards than I actually am. They're like you said, they're fine people. They're doing fine work. They didn't have any like actual problems. Like I almost referenced a thing there that I won't just for my own professional sake. But I think any award show has problems. I think the early years of award show was going to have the most problems. And all in all, I wish them the best, and I hope they do. I hope they do well in the future in a general compassionate sense.
Yeah, I
wish
agree.
them well going forward.
And honestly, I will say, like, I would be happy to lend any advice that I can give on like how to kind of adjust the pace for next year. I don't think they'll take that from me after I've been so openly critical about it, but like I will put that out there if anyone from the Crit Awards is watching this, like I would actually really love to give some thoughts on the pace in a more like serious helpful sense, because I do really want that show to succeed
in an actual beneficial way and not just complaining on the internet vibes kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Crit Awards or the critical awards, the critical role?
Watch them make a show for like their weird end of year stuff to just like play Twitch clips, and they call it the Crit Awards, and then there's like a lawsuit.
Okay.
I almost don't doubt that would happen.
Now I always so careful because when I see Matt Mercer, it activates something.
He looks really bad in that photo. He looks very goofy in that photo specifically. I've seen fine pictures of Matt Mercer. This one seems maximum goof.
You can say that. I will say that he feels like, when I see Matt Mercer, I feel like I'm in the era when Ego Raptor was on the Tester Season 3, and that's all I'm going to say. We're just scroll down.
It's such a specific poll. It's such a wildly specific poll.
I heard Lilith snickering at that, I think, or maybe something else, I don't know. Okay. So Critical Role. They're doing their 4th campaign. It's kind of like a West Marches type thing, which, good for them. I think it's cool to have like a large cast of characters, large cast of actors. But they're playing with the 2024 Dungeons & Dragons rules. I'm trying to think, because I don't remember, like, are there any other, I guess there aren't really any other games that they could use, right? Like,
no, not really, sadly. They banned all other games, so
yeah, like I can't really think of like it's a shame, because I know how expensive these books are nowadays, and it's like I imagine it's really hard to keep some like a good stock of like D&D books on hand. Like, if they made their own book, then they would have, I think, a lot more that they could probably use, for stuff, right? Like,
I mean, do you know the funniest part is you stopped it right at this part where they said recent Darrington Press hires Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins are going to help them with custom subclasses, and I think that's the funniest possible thing.
So
we hired the D&D guys to make us custom D&D is maybe the most Critical Role thing you could fucking write.
I missed that. That's so funny.
That is so funny.
That broke me completely right now. Holy shit.
That is so funny.
This time, you'll even see a few custom subclasses thanks to Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins, our newest members of Darrington Press.
It's just it's the funniest thing that could happen.
Whoa.
Okay. This is very difficult for me to like actually talk about, because I'm at the point, I was talking with somebody about this today. I'm at the point where I am no longer angered by D&D things. I am exhausted by them. Like, it is not, I don't have a response where I want to yell about how silly it is. And though this Jeremy Crawford, Chris Perkins thing is really fucking funny.
It's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
And another thing that's very funny, as you scroll down the page, they put pictures of everyone on the cast as though you might forget who Ashley Johnson and Matt Mercer and Travis William are. It's really fucking
whatever
funny.
They gotta do. Whatever,
But I
cool people.
like
Good for them.
There have been a lot of people talking about this on TikTok and talking about the responsibility that Critical Role has to the space as like the de facto actual play show, and the responsibility that they have to their fans, and the responsibility they have to the space, and the responsibility that they have to the genre. And I don't disagree with any of those people in a way that like upsets me. Like in a way that I wish that could not be true. I wish that this was not the most popular actual play show for the most popular game in a space that is filled with so many people and so many games that don't look like these specific motherfuckers. And at the same time, like, I think we're at the point where we need to stop expecting Critical Role to do anything. A mutual of mine on TikTok, who I respect very heavily, who's a person of color and also does a bunch of D&D stuff, like, was because I read some comments and somebody was responding to them like, what do you think that they should do in this case? And they were like, well, I think some of the main cast should step aside and let new people take their role, let people of color take their spot. Like, they should actively do work to increase the representation on their show. And I think they should. I absolutely think they should. I think that is the thing that a reasonable person would do. I think that is the thing that a person or company or group of individuals that were interested in promoting and improving diversity in the space would do. And they haven't. At every opportunity, they have not done that. At every single opportunity to me, or to them, they have not done that. I'm glad that Abria's up there. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know this other guy. I'm glad he's up there. That's great. It's still the same fucking 8 of them. And maybe some of them should take a season off. I think it's really funny that the big news of this season is that they hired the other white D&D DM. Like, they hired, literally, they were like, who else can we get to run the game? And they hired the other white guy.
Yeah.
And like, not even you had a small amount of argument when they had Abria on for the season. It was also the smallest season. It was not the main season. It was not the season that was broadcast in theaters. It was not the season that's going to get turned into an Amazon Prime animated series. It was not the season that's going to get turned into a comic book that's going to sell for weeks in Barnes and Noble. Like I'm getting to the point where I need people to accept that in a way that you need to listen to people when they tell you who they are. That these people, these individuals, are not interested in promoting diverse voices, diverse people, diverse games, diverse casts, diverse viewpoints. They're not interested in that. They are interested in playing D&D with their 8 friends and their extended group of friends that sometimes include people of color.
Yeah.
And like, it feels mean to be that direct, but it's been a decade longer. I think we need to accept as a TTRPG community, as the greater TTRPG community, we need to accept that this is not their goal in a very real way. We need to accept that this is not their goal, this is not their aim, this is not their intention. There is not, and that's to say nothing of them continuing to play D&D when they literally made their own D&D-esque ass game.
Yeah, it's giving lack of confidence in your product a little bit.
Like it's a ridiculous decision next to the ridiculous decision that they're currently making, you know? And I saw some people talk about, production schedules, this, that. And you know what? Maybe. Also, maybe you do another little floater season until you can get your production schedule aligned, that you can support your game that you made that is selling out everywhere. Like, people are so head over heels for Daggerheart, and then to just be like, actually, no, we're still gonna play D&D.
Yeah, I do
Sorry.
agree. I think Sada's take is good that like we don't care that stadiums only have pop stars on stage, but it is like, what if all the pop stars were white? What if every pop star was white, right? Like,
Right. It's like them continuing to play D&D is less ridiculous to me than the makeup of the cast.
I also want to point out.
In an actionable way. Like I just said for way too long, so I'll let you talk. I'm sorry.
Oh no worries. I also wanted to add that like I think Dropout, that space and therefore like the California improv scene is a funnel for people who wind up on these larger APs, and I do think it's worth noting that like, what the fuck is going on over there? Where's all the T-girls? What is happening to the T-girls in the California improv scene? Like, oh god, I like it really worries me because like.
Do you know what's really funny is like this exhaustion with Critical Role and like Brennan's involvement with them is extending to me being exhausted with Dimension 20.
Yeah.
Because Dimension 20 also refuses to step away from Dungeons and Dragons. Which there is nothing funnier to me as a person who has respect for the creative efforts of Brennan Lee Mulligan. Like I respect him as a creator and all of the work that he's done. There is nothing funnier to me than when he ran Dungeons and Dragons for the writers on the writer strike picket line. Like there is nothing more tone deaf to me to, in the moment where writers are striking, to have contracts against a massive corporation to not have their works be used for generative AI and to have generative AI protections. For him to be like, you know what's really fun, gang, is D&D. You know. Hello.
Sorry, I'm dithering them because I thought it'd be funny.
Oh, okay.
Could you? I think I see your point. I guess for me, it's not that. This is great.
This is good. This is good. I like this.
For me, it's like. I feel like that's one of those moments where it's like, this is the thing that this guy does, and like, you know, he's trying to show support in the way that he can. I'm personally not as upset about it, but I definitely understand people who are with that particular thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm upset about that particular moment, but it's more just like it. Like you said, it's the thing. This is really funny. It's really funny to watch how like some letters don't change what at all, and some immediately fall apart. It's very funny. It's almost as white as it was before. This is the joy. This is the joy of live streaming, folks. This is it. This is the fun of it.
This is the fun.
I love how Campaign 4 like really stays.
Yeah, it's really in there.
It's really funny how almost no matter what you do, you can still read Campaign 4 for a lot of it. I'm less upset at Dimension 20 than I am at Critical Role because I feel like I don't know why. I don't know what brought the cast of Dimension 20 to be more diverse than Critical Role. And I also think Dimension 20 does a better job of hosting other shows that are the same length as their main show that feature different performers, let alone like more diverse performers. I, as a person that watches actual play, I'm just sick of D&D. Like that's it for me for Dimension 20. Like I just don't care to watch D&D. Like if I don't have to watch somebody roll initiative or roll an attack roll and all of this, like I'm fine. I'm good.
I feel similarly.
Yeah. And I want to be careful when I say this next part because I understand like as a news thing you want to talk about the news thing. So no, like this isn't at you as an individual, this is at the overall societal response to this. I really wish people put as much effort into promoting the shows of people that worked the Critical Role cast as they do shitting on when the Critical Role cast does the thing that they've done for a decade.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's real.
You know, hey everybody, right now on Kickstarter, you can go back 5 GMs in a Trench Coat, season 5. They're doing a a season all about a love letter to 80s movies. It's about a cross-country drive across all 50 states. I thought it was going to be a horror thing when they first announced it, so I got really excited. It's not a horror thing. That's my own fault. But this is basically as opposite from Critical Role as you can like physically get. It is a group of queer BIPOC people, trying to get their thing made in a way that I don't think Critical Role has ever had to work to get their thing made.
Yeah, go give that a look. Hell yeah. Love some other APs. Good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And so yeah, like, and that's what I mean. Like, this isn't at you as an individual, because I definitely got into it too, because it's, it can be very neurologically satisfying to burn hot with justice and all other anime shit. But I don't know. I'm just exhausted by it. I just don't care what these white people do anymore.
Yeah, real. Yeah, I it's something that I've been kind of struggling with is the is trying to move the show as much as possible more away from talking about D&D, and sometimes there are things where I'm like, I want to talk about this.
You want to talk about it because like it's still part of the zeitgeist. It's still part of the conversation. It would be foolish to pretend that it didn't exist. Like that,
Yeah.
that would be silly. It like I say all the time on my show, like, because it inevitably comes up where, I had to turn, the only person I ever had to turn down for the show was somebody who wanted to promote their D&D project. And I was like, hey, if I'm fully honest with you, I'd rather not promote D&D projects on here. I'm like, I know that you're working on other things. I'd be more than happy to promote those other things. I would really not like to not promote D&D works on the show. And they never responded to me. And then later we got into an argument about a TTRPG thing that was, I would put a 5 on the consequential rating, and I blocked them. So
Fair.
It's silly to pretend that it doesn't exist. It would be silly to do so, but also I don't have to give it a bunch of my attention.
Yeah, real. I hear ya. I've tried not to talk too much about D&D proper on here, but sometimes there are things where, because I feel like Daggerheart is a thing that is like a thing that a lot of indie people are like involved in, and so it's something that I want to address at least.
Yeah. I think that's a different conversation. I think I think as much as I don't like Critical Role as like the AP and the people who put on the show, like I do still think Daggerheart is an interesting thing. I think it's doing something different in a way that it's like, all right, this is a different this is a different direction. This is a different format. Like maybe this turns into something. Who knows?
It's serving anything at all.
Right. It's trying to be something in the way that D&D has kind of given up being anything.
Do we want to take a break? And then we'll come back and we'll talk about more news.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back.
Thou hast journeyed far.
Hello, everybody. We are back with more The Dovecote with Matt Caulder.
Hell yeah. Hope everybody kiss your girlfriends.
Remember to kiss your girlfriend forever.
Remember to kiss your girlfriends. Kiss your girlfriend square on the lips.
Kiss your
That's a new
girlfriend
bit. That's
square on the
brand new.
mouth. Yeah, square on the lips.
No one ever did that.
Hey, do you want to talk about something that's a little sad and scary and weird?
It is very weird. It is 100%. It is an odd story.
So, Aftermath story. I still have not read this in its entirety because it fucking released while we were in it, while we were getting ready. Or rather,
I put it in the chat like as we were getting started.
Yeah. God, I gotta get a fucking like regular chat box for the stream. Anyways, RPG designer goes missing after crowdfunding award-winning game. The film of the project appears to be on hold indefinitely until Maxwell can be located. Grimwild, the tabletop RPG, which originally supported in 2024 on BackerKit for $40,000, promised a cinematic narrative rules system, and was supposed to deliver to customers in July. That window has come and gone with no books delivered, and a Discord moderator explained that Grimwild's designer, JD Maxwell, has been unable to reach out to for weeks. So they're trying to reach out to this person to make sure they're okay. So yeah. And an interesting thing here is that apparently the game is finished and the manufacturing costs are reportedly already paid for. It's just physical book deliveries that are being held up, which is fascinating. The free PDF version was nominated for and won an award at the Ennies. So I'm hoping that this person is found. I'm hoping that they're okay. And yeah, it's a little scary. It's a very unique situation.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing you expect when you back a crowdfunder thing, and you know, like Eclipse said, like I hope Maxwell is fine. Like I hope this is just some sort of long comedy of errors where I accidentally turned my phone off, and then it broke, and then I couldn't get a new phone. Because yeah, this you know. It's one thing to be like, oh yeah, one person did it and then they dipped, and you're like, wow, you know, I hope they're fine, but whatever, you know. But woof.
Yeah, and you really get the sense that like this is something that like because so much of the game is already done, and like it's just the production. You get the sense that this is not a fucking, you know, like this isn't a scam. It's you know,
right.
This person is probably. Whatever the situation is, you know, this person had something come up. Basically, is my sense.
Yeah, it would be really weird to wait until the entire thing was done and paid for and ready to go, and then be like, "Ha!" Because you didn't do anything. You didn't get away with anything. So
yeah, that's kind of my full thing here. I hope this person's okay.
This is such a weird story.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique one. Okay. You want to read some mail?
Hell yeah! What do we got for mail?
I don't know if we have much. I think we really only have a question in chat, but we'll start with that one because it's really fun. It's a really funny question.
It is really funny. I saw that. It's very funny.
Okay. Question from 5 Indicator. Question for both of you. Who's someone who you don't want on your show that you're terrified would say yes? Ugh. Scary.
It's hard to think about this, to think about people that I don't want on my show.
And that I would talk about on here.
Right, that I would, yeah, that, like I don't think Brendan Lee Mulligan would say yes. I think if there was a way in which he could say, I think if there was a way in which we could have contact and he could say yes, I would still have him on the show.
Okay.
We would just talk about everything other than D&D.
That makes sense.
because I do, you know, like I said earlier, like I do respect his creative effort. I do respect him as a creator and as a role player. But I think Travis McElroy, you're right. I would not want Travis McElroy
Travis
on the show.
McElroy.
And he would Seda, I don't know if you know my very particular and intense like hatred for Travis McElroy. Travis would say yes because he wants the attention.
Huh.
Yeah, he would say yes. God, I went from having no possible clue who the answer could be to there could only be one. Of course it is.
Travis McElroy is a fascinating one. Yeah, I don't think that Travis McElroy would come on my show because my friend Marcy Mousewife has made multiple streams of just fucking like watching and making fun of his Stardew Valley streams. So I don't think that would happen. I don't think he would come on my show.
Should.
So I gotta.
Does Marcy know the clip of him yelling at people for playing Among Us wrong?
Oh, I mean, everyone I know does. It's so funny.
Good. We were talking about that. Oh, so my very specific and angry Travis McElroy story. My very specific encounter with Travis McElroy.
Oh shit.
So I'm a Twitch streamer, like we talked about, right?
Mm.
And it can be difficult to make friends in the streaming space, like to actually make friends and not just be like, oh, we're just people that you know rate each other and whatever. Like making actual friends that you want to talk to outside of streaming all of this. So I had someone that like I had met through a friend. You know, they were a friend of my friend, and I was like, oh, like I want to be friends with this person. This would be very cool. You know, I know, and they're you know, this is a weird sentence for someone who's not in streaming, but like they're a bigger streamer than me. You know, whatever.
Okay.
We don't talk about it. But I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I was like, I've got this stream that's going longer than usual, and so I can raid them. You know, we've got like a good amount of people. That'll be fun. It'll be fun to like have this large audience to raid to them. That'll be cool. And then, you know, and then we could talk, and that'll be good. That's like a good icebreaker. And it's my first time raiding them ever, right? So I raid them, and they're like, oh Matt, hi, da da da, and like, you know, we're chatting after the raid, and it's, you know, and it's so cool. 45 seconds later. Who raids my friend but Travis goddamn McElroy? And I was just dumbfounded on the screen. I was like, you're absolutely kidding. Like, of all the gin joints in the world, are you kidding me?
That's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Yeah, like you're like, hang on, I gotta find the button.
My angry face. But yeah, that's fucked up. I don't know if I have a Travis McElroy story. What is Travis McElroy to me? He's like a character. He's like, I should think of it.
Yes, that's accurate.
Who do I not want to have on my stream? Who would say yes? Fuck.
Who's like the straightest person you can think of?
The problem is like anyone I can think of is like someone who would actually come on like, fuck, dog. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like a pretty. The people I can think of are people who I do not feel comfortable saying on stream.
That's fair. That's a fair answer, I think.
I can think of people, but I will not say them on stream. Is what I'll say.
Yeah, I don't have any problem talking shit about Travis McElroy because he'll never say it, and if he does, I don't care.
Oh, I'm trying to think of like anyone I can actually say.
There are people that I like if I sat here and thought about it, there are people I might come up with that I would say, oh, you know what? Maybe I don't want to say this because it might get back to them and that would seem unprofessional. Like I almost made a joke earlier that I was like, that, you know, as a person who wants to seem like a professional in the TTRPG space, maybe I shouldn't talk shit in this way. I don't care. I'll talk shit about Travis McElroy. I don't care.
Yeah, fair. I was about to say me until you said that. I would love to have you on, Squid. I would love to talk about the paintings that you did of Sapphic World stuff. That was really cool. And I would love to show them on camera. I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, no, I guess I'll leave it at that. There's no one who if I asked them to come on the show, would also come on the show. Who I don't want to have on the show. Oh, actually, no, you're right. Koval, that's Adam Koval is like I think Koval. Well, no, I've been really mean about Koval on here. Actually, I don't know about that.
No, that's fair.
I've been a prick about Koval on the show.
I see. You know what? This opens an interesting kettle of fish, right? Because this is like someone you don't want on the show that you're terrified would say yes. In like a mirror version of that question of like someone you want on the show that you wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Like someone you would want on the show that you wouldn't because of like the stink that would bring. Like I do think Luke Crane would have an interesting. I think I could have an interesting episode with Luke Crane.
Oh yeah,
I think that would, and I'm interested in that. I don't think that would be a good episode to do.
I'm just like so amused by the idea of having Koval on, and just arguing with him the whole time.
That would be
weird.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do. I don't want to do that ever.
That's the funny. It would be really funny, but no, you shouldn't. It would be very funny though.
I think that there are a lot of people you could. I feel like the main answer for that
you could
question
Jubilee
is honestly,
him.
Jubilee him.
You could just Jubilee him.
Bring in a fucking tag team.
I'm Adam Koval. My stance is that sexual harassment is not real if it's in a public internet space. Go.
That
I don't think
is one of the scariest sentences I've ever heard in my life.
I don't. You know what? I don't know if he fully believes that he did that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a belief he would stand on.
I do like the idea of like demonizing, like antagonizing. They're not antagonizing. You know, like talking like simplifying people to their worst days is really funny. Like, yeah, I believe this thing is good forever, and I will never stop believing this thing that I did is good.
Like, you know what? That's not what I mean.
But who knows? This is such a fucking conversation.
Boy,
use safety tools to whatever degree, whatever that means to you. Like, try and be respectful to your fellow player, and ask before you do something that you think might be a little spicy. Have a conversation about it.
Maybe use some accessibility features.
Use some accessibility tools and some safety tools.
It's just me being bitchy.
Use some captions at your table, maybe, and you might prevent that from happening.
It would be really funny if I just put my phone down in front of like the GM screen and it had captions of what I was saying.
That wouldn't be too like I could see reasons for that. If
someone there'd be reasons. That. I think it would just be very funny to just do that unprompted. To just do that.
These are my captions. Here's my captions.
Yeah, these are my captions in case you need it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Honestly, if someone was like, this is why I do this, like, because I've had a lot of players in the past that need it, I honestly wouldn't be too upset. But it is also weird because, like, if you start talking loud enough for the fucking thing, they have a lav mic, and
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it would. It's not that it would be unwelcome or that it could be helpful. It would just be very, very funny to do that. Just walk in with the little like, the Griffin McElroy like text reader thing. Like, here you go. You just got to read this. Get ready for it.
I would love people unprompted added captions for me all the time. Yeah, real.
I love captions.
Captions are cool. I sometimes have auditory processing issues, so I like having captions. Does anyone have any other questions? We don't have any emails, so I'm taking questions from the chat about anything that we've talked about Matt Caulder, about tabletop role-playing
questions
games,
about me,
about what you're doing, about I don't know, the Crit Awards, about Critical Role, about Kickstarters and crowdfunding.
Can I tell you the funniest thing that Travis McElroy ever did?
Please.
He was so bad at running D&D during one of the Max Fun Drive fundraisers. His the special episode that they did for the Max Fun Drive fundraiser. He did so bad that it categorically hurt the fundraiser for the entire network, and they considered cutting him from the show called My Brother, and Me.
Is that true?
It might be apocryphal, but I've heard it a couple times.
That's... Like, how would that even work? Like,
You know what? It's a great question.
I'm so curious about this now.
Yeah. Again, it might be apocryphal, it might be internet hearsay, but don't you want it to be true?
It's fascinating.
I like the idea. That I do probably believe that his episode was so bad that it hurt the overall thing. I believe that could be true.
I could perhaps believe. I can't find anything about this.
I don't know. It's probably apocryphal. It's fine.
My brother, and me.
Yeah, they just bring on guest stars every time.
Yeah. Wow.
Eclipse, did you see? Oh, hi. Hang on. Seda has a question that's more important than the silly thing I was going to say. Do you have an interviewing background, or do you just like talking to people? I talked about this after I was on. I had some unfortunate experience with podcasts. They clearly didn't know anything about me and my work. I was really happy with how much you engaged with me as a person, which a lot of interviewers are not good at doing. Well, I appreciate the compliment. That means a lot. I'm gonna cry in the club here in a second. Shit. I don't have an interviewing background. I'm just autistic and really nosy.
Oh yeah.
And I just always was interested in why people did things the way that they did them. And I've said for years that I was like I should have a podcast where I just talk to people about the things that they do and why they did them that way, and you know what led them to this and why they made this decision and all of this. And Keegan from Plus One EXP was just like, you should do that. And I was like, fuck, fine, okay.
Hell yeah. Autistic plus nosy truly is the sauce. Also, I think why I'm alright. Hell yeah. That's what it's about.
Yeah. It's called the Nancy Drew combo.
Did you have a question? Do you have a question for me?
Oh yeah, did you see the Rascal article by Brandon O'Brien?
I did. I fucking loved it. It was such a good article. I'm gonna post that in chat right now.
Yeah, I need to sit down and read it. It's one of those like I pay for this website. I need to read this.
Yeah, I really liked that one. I think there's been such an issue with I feel so mean saying this, but I think it's true, and I think it's important to say it, which is that I think that a lot of people see games like Praise the Hawkmoth King and you know other things in that realm, but especially Praise the Hawkmoth King, and their initial reaction is to make a quote tweet of it and say, "Wow, this looks fascinating. It's not for me. I'll probably never read it, and I probably can't get a table for it, but it looks cool." And like, that's a thing that you can say, but the fact that so many people are saying it and like it's being said like so frequently and almost as like an instant reaction is I'm not happy with that. I think that I think that a lot of people like are underselling their ability to like, and I'm not saying this is everyone, you know, I'm sure that there are people who earnestly feel this way, but I do feel like there's a degree to which like by making that your first reaction, you were choosing not to explore what this art could actually mean to you, how you could interact with this art, how you could engage with this art. And I think you lose a part of your I think you lose a bit of your curiosity. It's to me it is very similar to saying, you know, she's corny but you shouldn't harass her. Like it is a similar urge, which is something that I mentioned in the original Faggot games as a as sort of a lighter, you know, a duller cut that is dealt against trans women online, and I think it's important to analyze why you might say something like that, why you would like say, oh, I could like this but I don't, or I could like this but I am not the person who will like this. To limit yourself so much. I don't know. Am I?
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost like I could like this, but I won't.
Yeah.
And you're predetermining the way that you'll feel about it.
Yeah.
And that kind of speaks to like I talked about this a bit on your episode of the podcast, but I honestly I struggled with having you on the show for a lot of reasons. Like we knew each other in passing, and I saw when the the Faggot Games blog post came out, and I sort of struggled with it because it was initially a joke to be like it would be very funny to have Eclipse on the show because then we would have to say faggot all the time and that would be really funny. And then I thought about it and I was like, what does it say about me and the show? Like, what does it say about the show that I'm trying to make and the like mission statement of the show if I'm not willing to make the space for this? Like, something that I might personally find, uncomfortable at worst, but something that I'm uncomfortable with, but isn't harmful or degrading or offensive or upsetting, like in a way that it's like I struggle with it because I was like I feel like I'm disrespecting Eclipse's work in that way. That I'm like oh, like do I want to do that with the show? And it's like what do you mean do like I really had to examine my sort of knee-jerk reaction in that way.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on. I think we had a really good conversation. Sada saying, I think it would be really great if people who are confident in running horny games would like talk about what that looks like and what it means to them. Because I think a lot of people who are like, I think this isn't for me, literally just have not been shown how it might work, which is a thing I think is true in a lot of TTRPG education. Like it's a very similar thing to people getting people to learn that there are other games other than D&D in some ways. People often have to be shown what they don't know, then have that like filled in. This is a terrible way for me to make this point. No, I think you're right though. I think that there is a degree to which like it is kind of a failure of education. And I think this is probably true on my end on some level where I'm like, yeah, I play horny games and it's like what I mostly play. And it's like I never talk about what that actually means. I just kind of say that I do it. Yeah, that is me thinking. I don't know. It's crazy. It's rough because like Twitch is my streaming site and I can't really stream that on Twitch. But I do think it'd be interesting to do some actual play that is that has kind of a like this is a home game-esque actual play, which I know is like. You are inevitably going to be kind of doing it for an audience, but I do think it'd be interesting to like have something that can display what that's like. I don't know where it would go though. Is the thing.
I think Sada's idea is super interesting because like one, it would be really interesting to see actual plays of that in a way that like that would be very educational. Overall, like it would be very interesting to see like what that actually looks like, because I bet you a lot of people have an idea of what it looks like, and it's because they watched too much like Cinemax as a child, and so they think about what it's that what I mean, like they have this idea. But I think Sada's idea, even I would be super interested in as a person who like has no interest in playing a horny game or like interacting with a horny TTRPG. I'd be really interested to hear someone talk about handling those moments at the table, keeping the vibe, because I think like in the way that like keeping the vibe in a TTRPG is really important in a horror game, I feel like it would be very similar of like you have to you have to stay in that space and then move out of it to make that vibe feel important. And so, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I would be, if I personally would be interested in watching an actual play, but I think it would be really interesting in a similar like interview style thing to like hear conversations about it, hear what it means to people, and how they run those games.
Yeah, I gotta think about what that looks like. I
Mm.
have my own. Hang on.
And
Yeah. I'm also so curious about what these conversations. I'm anytime I'm like, oh, my work exists outside of my immediate perception, I enter a strange space. But that's cool. I'm glad you're having Sapphic World conversations. Um,
Yeah, I brought this up in the episode of the podcast, but I think it bears repeating. Like when I read Sapphic World, like I'll be honest, like I was expecting something a lot raunchier
mhm.
and I mean off-putting for me, not off-putting in general, but I was very sort of like taken with what I found of like I said, we talked about this on the podcast of just like the gradients and matter of factness with which like sex and fucking was brought up. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
never felt like it never felt like the game was like, yeah, and then you fucking it's so good. You know what I mean? But it was just like, yeah, like I think there's a point like one of the things is like, do you make love or do you fuck? And I was just like, that tells me a lot about what I need to know about this game.
Yeah.
Um like it didn't feel out of place. It didn't feel put on. It didn't feel like forced. It was just like, yeah, this is a game in which this is a world in which characters fuck and characters take time to fuck and characters enjoy it and do it intentionally and in like in a way that I found enjoyable in the context of the game.
I'm really glad. I think part of that is the autism. Like I
Always the autism.
I've talked a little bit about this with my friend Jay. Um, that I think that like
Jay
a
Moore?
potential say more.
Jay Moore?
Oh no, Jay Dragon. Sorry.
Oh, I know. I'm making a silly joke.
Oh, I see. Oh, I get it.
that's,
But
that's very silly. I'm sorry.
the idea that I think a potential failure of faggot games on some level is like, and I tried to kind of address this in faggot games too, is is that you have to want it. You have to want it really bad. You have to like have it needs to be like a trained perversion. And I think that that's kind of what I'm going for in Sapphic World, which is like this is a the autism is specifically in like this horny game that cares a lot about like flora and fauna and like places and cultures and like because I those are the things that I find hot is the world building like it's the it's the things around I find the things around the sex a lot hotter than the sex itself. Bodies can be bodies are bodies. They can they can go anywhere. They can do they can they have a limited configuration of things that they can do, but uh a body sworn to her lady, who has all this other kind of context around her, within the water wicking reeds, kind of being stalked by a fucking weird storm bear in the distance. Like that's what it's all about for me. Uh, so I think I want to see more of that. I guess is just like I I think that what's kind of funny is I think myself and Sage the Anagogue have very opposite persuasions. Where Sage I think is very interested in uh, the raw act of fucking, in rape, in the humiliation and the sort of emotions that come from the direct action of sex. Um, and I think I am like kind of the almost exact opposite, where I'm more interested in the feelings around sex, the chase, the hunger, the the strange ways we act towards each other when we want to fuck. Like, it's all about that.
Yeah, that's really interesting to be able to recognize somebody who is on the same proverbial like train of thought that you are, but the inverse sort of, not necessarily inverse direction, but a completely different direction.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think. Oh god, it's already 9 o'clock. Yeah, we gotta fucking get out of here. Matt, do you have anything else you wanna?
Listen. We're talking about TTRPGs.
We
We're
are.
finally not yelling about white people. I love it. This is
True.
great.
I love talking about TTRPGs. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to gesture folks towards in these last moments before something happens?
Oh god, is he coming for me? Is Agent 47 coming for me?
Yup.
Oh fuck. I want everybody as I find the thing. Stall for time. Oh god, you really got to stall for time because I'm bad at typing.
That's okay.
So okay, here we go. I want to direct everybody to my good friend Blurdy's video on the one-page RPG jam that just wrapped up on itch. I think there were like 600 entries or something like that. There was a really big game jam that happened on itch for one-page RPGs, and that's always a fun good time. I also want to completely randomly, because it's been my hyperfixation lately, I want to tell everybody to check out the Digimon trading card game. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's a fun card game. Doesn't cost a lot of money.
Hell yeah. Am I supposed to? No. Okay. Okay. Smile.
650 plus. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. It ended around 666. Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah. Love to do a little laugh. All right. I'm gonna raid. Who am I raiding? Melody Burst, probably. I'm raiding Melody Burst. Go watch Melody Burst. Melody Burst is playing Resident Evil 7. If you get scared of things, don't watch it. Okay. Bye.
You get scared of things, don't watch it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Remember, if you don't like what you see, you can change it. It's up to you, really. Goodbye, good luck, fans.